All right, let's talk about drones for a bit.
Drones, yay.
Do you want to talk about drones?
Sure.
I know you like drones.
Mhm.
And here we go. I am new to the world of drones. And you are
I might as well.
experienced in the world of drones.
I would also. It's just amazing, the technology.
Pardon?
The technology is amazing. Do you mind if I put some perspective on the big issue of drones?
Give us a history lesson.
Well, yeah, it's not a history lesson, but some of the realities of how all this has evolved. I've always been an early adopter, geeky guy.
You got the same one.
Yeah. So in 2014, I saw a YouTube about a drone that my nephew, who happened to be droning in China, of all places, and I was just like blown away. I remember seeing that video, and it just like, so I called him right away, like, where did you get it? How much does it cost? I want one. And pounced on it. It was a DJI Phantom.
Okay.
And but then I quickly realized, as society in general in every country, that whoa, these things better, for privacy reasons, for safety reasons, and especially safety reasons relating to not interfering with flights in the air and the dangers of collisions and so on. So all kinds of regulations quickly happened, and some were pretty draconian. And the frustration by 2015 or so was that these regulations had been imposed, and if you wanted to fly in any controlled airspace, and just to put in perspective, Ottawa is 95% of Ottawa is, quote, controlled airspace. And that's not to say anything about some no-fly zones, like of course around apartment buildings and 24 Sussex and so on. And around any airports, 5 kilometers, or is it 5 miles, 9 kilometers, something like that. So that took all the fun out of it, because you just couldn't fly where there's some things to look at and to film in terms of real estate, in terms of landscapes, urban development, whatever it was. And I had been doing some commercial and land assembly stuff. So I realized, and I saw the great value in it, as did a lot of people, but the only way you could do it legally was to get a special flights operating certificate, an SFOC, through Transport Canada. And that's a huge process. As they say, a dog and pony to go through all the steps to get that. And then you had to have 5 million insurance and on. Very, very complicated. And this battle is going on in every country. I was following it in the States too at the time. And I think there was some wisdom in how Garneau, whoever administered transport at different stages, were dealing with it. And there was some stability in how they were going to control this. So the regulations were such that anyone, like if you looked on MLS and you saw a listing and you saw a drone, you're probably likely that it was illegal. And there was all these threats from Transport Canada to say, we're going to be snooping YouTubes, and if we see any videos that could potentially be in violation of not flying in controlled airspace and so on, the fines could be really steep, 5,000, 25,000. There was all this talk. And yet, and unfortunately, there were many agents that I'm aware of who just said, the hell with it, I won't get caught. But unfortunately, they were putting their clients at risk, because if ever there was an investigation, if ever there had been an accident and an investigation following that, the seller, the homeowner who you were doing a job for, could have been held liable. There was a great presentation made at the board by a gentleman by the name of Mark Venables, who was a commercial pilot, but really got into drones in a big way and all the licensing, and actually took a course from him after seeing the presentation he made at the board. So one of the strategies there for an agent, if you wanted to use a drone, was to affiliate yourself with someone who had a special flights operations certificate if you didn't want to go through it. So that's one of the strategies I employed. At one point, I was affiliated with an Alberta company, and I was their Ontario representative just for the purpose of being able to fly the drone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are smaller drones that have less regulation because they're so small, like these ones that you see now. So it's going to be open season, but there are still precautions that need to be taken care of. These, I think you bought the complete set, so you got the propeller guards and all that stuff.
I don't have the propeller guards.
Oh.
No, I bought the Mini 2 with the extra batteries and stuff, but no. I was thinking, because I actually practiced in my house when I first got it, because I didn't want to use it outside. So
Where did you crash in?
Well, and then I went out, I flew it out my back door and straight up from my back deck.
Yeah.
It started catching wind the way the wind came around the house. So I broke 2 propellers and I actually cracked the nose.
Oh no. Okay.
So, but it seems to fly fine. And that was a very good learning experience.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't do the calibrating, turning it around and all this?
Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think because we get the wind from the northwest and it kind of wraps around my house. Mm-hmm. So anyways, the way it went out, mm-hmm. It started to, I overcompensated with lack of experience.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was into the side of my house, which is a brick house, and then fell onto my deck. And anyways, it was.
So the recommendation I'd have for agents about drones, and notwithstanding everything that has transpired, you can go out and buy one of these $500 US, and then you got to buy this and that too, and so it ends up being a little bit more and a lot more. But truth is, there are some. I'm sure there's got to be at least half a dozen companies in Ottawa right now mm-hmm. that do the pictures, the virtual tours, and all this. And they have all, most of them, gone through the process of getting the necessary approvals, insurance, and so on. Because what is of greatest importance for you is to protect the interest of your client, the seller, in the event that things happen. And so why not just hire these guys? It's maybe an extra $75 or $100 for them to also do drones. Now, drones are of less value when it's a very dense environment. Mm-hmm. But if it's out in a country or whatever, then you can show the splendor of the space and so on. But hire a professional for it. It's really not worth it. And it's not only just the regulatory things, but and I'm saying this laughingly a little bit, but I saw one that you had posted, and with all due respect to you, you're new at it. But as far as cinematography, there's an art to it, and it takes experience. So if you think you can just throw a thing up and you're going to be doing a disservice to the marketing of your property.
I took it down, actually.
Yeah. So I hire someone.
Yeah,
it's a powerful tool in so many other ways too. Like I've got contracts for 24 Sussex, for instance. I had to go through getting approval from the Pope and all the way down just to actually be able to do that contract, because RCMP was involved, CSIS, like all these approvals, but they were doing an audit of that debate that they're thinking of, are they going to demolish the property and build something else, or they want a bunch of pictures, and it pays very well to do that. Another example is a museum of nature on McLeod. And every 5 years, they've been getting someone to put scaffolding all the way around to do an audit of the stones and mortar to see the condition of the museum, because the building is over 100 years, over 120 years old. And that was quite expensive. It was probably a $35,000, $40,000 job every time they did it. And I was able to do it for them in a day and a half. They paid me $6,000, and all I did was have the drone, which is 4K camera, just slowly go up and then slowly go down, and we documented each one of those ups and downs on a map of a diagram of the building. And so it cost them $6,000 instead of 30 some grand. So that's an amazing opportunity. Also for land assemblies, which I've done a few, or acreages. I just sold 80 acres on a 401. If it's near an interchange and you want to show that picture, those are just, you can't ask for a better tool. It's an awesome tool, but hire a professional. And
well, I used it to look at a little hole up on my roof where the birds were coming in 2 summers ago, which, because of the location of my house, I don't have a ladder long enough. Anyways, because my land drops off at the back, there was no way for me to see what was going on. So that was one of the big reasons for this guy, because getting up there was
they're amazing that way.
Yeah.
And there's also inspectors. You can get these with a LIDAR camera that can sense heat loss, or and commercial buildings or residential buildings. They can fly and just see when the different colors, the heat, the red showing where the heat is lost, or the condition of the roof, or all kinds of things. They're amazing. They're really. It still baffles me how much technology there can be in something as small as this. I can put it in a shirt pocket almost.
Yeah.
It's
anyways, I think it's a really good tool that's also a toy. But
yes,
especially the smaller ones, if you can do it somewhere very safe in a reasonable location for fun. My daughter wanted to play with it, and I'm like, it's not a toy. Sorry, not yet. Wait till I get to my second one or third one, then you can play with the old one. So
yeah, exactly. That's smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's so many. It's fascinating to see not just drones, but every facet of our business, how much technology has become part of it. And that's the fun thing about, if you're with a brokerage that is very early adopter and to those technologies, there can be too much of it. But I love it. I find the benefits and efficiencies and the quality of service you can give your clients because of all kinds of technologies. The drone, the software, the matching clients, the artificial intelligence of those sophisticated customer relationship management software. It blows me away. I'm glad I'm alive now. Just seeing all those stories. As a little footnote to that too, when I was at Remax in the early 80s, and computers started happening. I mean, they weren't even IBM computers then. I'm talking
Handies.
I bought my first Apple IIe.
Yeah.
And I put an ad in the paper because I was starting to do small income properties. I still had the advertising. It was a picture of my computer and said, "Let me run the numbers for your triplex to see what rate of return," or whatever it was. And but this was just so slow. It was 300 baud. You had to put the phone into a receptacle to it was going really slow. But also I had I don't know if I should admit this. I hired a programmer to devise a little program that would look at every area of MLS every night, between 10 and midnight. It would just download all the listings. And then after midnight, we do the same thing and say, "Oh, this one's gone. This one's gone. This one's gone." So because in those days, you had no way of knowing expiries. So you had to, if you want to.
So when it was legal to contact expiries.
Yeah, but actually I wouldn't do it myself, but I started getting agents who were specializing in those neighborhoods to pay me to get that list, any day, those that were cold callers and whatever. But yeah, things have changed so much from then. It's incredible.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, Andre, 43 years in, do you have any advice for new agents?